Rory Kleinveldt was the standout player with both bat and ball on day 2 in Northampton as the home team put themselves on the cusp of victory. Northants against Nottinghamshire hung in the balance after day 1, the visitors trailing by 114 runs with just 5 wickets remaining in their first innings. That was soon just 4 wickets left, as with just the second ball of the day, Kleinveldt completed his 5-wicket haul by removing Root, caught by Duckett, for 11. In the next over, the South Africans struck again. Moores, the victim this time, trapped LBW for 1. Wood and Reed offered some resistance for the 8th wicket, putting on 42 runs, including some flowing strokes to the boundary from both batsmen. However, Kleinveldt continued to be the scourge of the Notts innings, and he brought Reed's innings to an end with the opening ball of the 51st over, the keeper caught by his opposite number for 17. Kleinveldt now had 7 wickets to his name, but he wasn't content with that, bowling Hutton in his very next over, leaving Notts 130 for 9, still 64 behind their hosts. Wood managed to send a few more over the ropes to close the gap to 43, before Kleinveldt wrapped things up. Wood caught and bowled for 44, Notts all out for 151, a deficit of 43 runs in the first innings. Kleinveldt with career best figures of 9 for 65. Northants managed to get through to lunch without losing a wicket in their second innings, but it didn't take long after the break. Murphy, drafted in as lunch watchman, out-caught and bowled to Wood for 2. Levi was the new man in, and his assault on the Notts attack was brutal. His first boundary came off the bowling of Hutton. With 8 runs scored off 21 balls, Levi hit the accelerator pedal in the 14th over. He cracked Wood for a 4 and then a 6. And hit Mullaney for successive boundaries in the next over. He then crashed the 30-year-old seamer for 4 successive 4s at the start of his next over, accelerating onto 44 off 35 in the process. He then brought up his 50 with a 6 off Patel, and continued to force the pace along as Northants moved past 100. Patel hit for another 6 as Levi moved to 70, the score 109 for 1 at tea. When they returned from the interval, Newton started to play more of a leading role, and he passed 50 in the 31st over of the innings as Northants increased their lead to over 150. With Notts' chances of securing promotion rapidly evaporating, the visitors needed a swift change in fortune, and it came in the 34th over. First, Hutton had Newton caught by Mullaney for 53, and then in the very same over he removed Keogh, caught Vessels for a duck. It made the Northants innings stutter, and Cobb was unable to put a stop to the wobble. He fell, caught Mullaney off Patel for just 8, the score 162 for 4, Levi still there on 93. Levi decided there was no time like the present to head to his second century of the season, smashing Hutton for a 6 and a 4 to carry himself to 3 figures. Joining him for the 5th wicket was the hero with the ball, fellow South African Kleinveldt. The pair put on a rapid 44 before Levi finally fell for a season's best 115, Hutton clearing him up to make it 206 for 5. Kleinveldt continued to lead the attack in aggressive fashion, once again sizing up Hutton for punishment. And it wasn't long before Buck was in on the act too, hitting a 4 and a 6 off Patel. Buck finally fell to Wood for a near runner ball 26. And on the opening ball of the very next over, Kleinveldt was caught by substitute fielder Milnes off Gurney for 48 from just 41 balls. Wood then rounded off the innings in successive deliveries as Sanderson was caught Pajara for 1 and Gleeson was clean bowled for a golden duck. 270 all out from just 52.2 overs. Levi and Kleinveldt, the stars with the bat. Some tidy figures for Wood, but the rest of the attack taking some tap, especially Patel and Mullaney. That left 14 overs for Notts to survive to close, with their target for victory 314. But things didn't get off to the best of starts when Kleinveldt, who else, bowled Mullaney in his second over for just 2. And he struck again in the 9th, having Billy Root caught by Keogh for 7. Libby and Wood survived till the close to score 33 for 2, Notts still needing 281 runs to win, with just the 8 wickets now remaining.